Well, it's nice to be with you again on a Monday morning. Um, the right question at the right time can be a very powerful tool. It can open our eyes to see our own behavior. A CHP cop will stop you, and what's the first thing they'll do? They say, "Do you know how fast you were going?" "Yeah, I guess I do." Or maybe your parents will ask you, "What do you think you're doing?" And it'll show you the things that you've been doing wrong. Or it could clarify and clear our minds of indecision. A mentor might ask you, what is your primary goal? Focus on your objective. What are you trying to accomplish? And you can focus yourself. Or perhaps it might remind you of something you've forgotten. A counselor might say, do you remember the vows you took on your wedding day? He might remind you of commitments you made in the past, of things you've promised to do along the way. Well, Jesus asked a lot of questions to challenge people. He did that all through the Gospels. And during Lent this year, I want to look at a few of those questions in the Gospel of John in specific. The first one is from the very first chapter of John. It's not in the Passion story. It's way back at the beginning in chapter 1, John 1:35 to 38. It says, the next day, John, this is John the Baptist, not John the Apostle, was there again with two of his disciples. And when he saw Jesus passing, he said, behold, the Lamb of God. And when the two disciples heard him say this, they followed Jesus. And turning around, Jesus saw them following him, and Jesus asked, what do you want? I love that question. What do you want? And they said, Rabbi, which means teacher, where are you staying? So that's the first question I want to look at. Jesus says very simply, what do you want? The two men at the center of this story are disciples of John. But when Jesus walks by and John gazes at him and tells them that he is the Lamb of God, everything changes. The Pharisees were threatened by Jesus because they wanted to hold on to their disciples. But John points his disciples to Jesus with those words. But it's so interesting that they follow Jesus. John tells them to go that way. They go and follow Jesus, and Jesus turns around and asks this question. He says, what do you want? What do you want with me? What are you doing back there? Who are you people? It's a weird question. It's not a complicated question, but if we understand it right, it's a very penetrating question. It's like an applicant's interview to determine the readiness of someone to become their disciple or to have the job that they're looking for. And their brief response kind of answers three questions that Jesus might have wanted to know. The first question is this: are they there to be served or to serve? The first thing they say is Rabbi. That's all they say, Rabbi. What do you want? We want a rabbi. Which means teacher. With this one word, they indicate that they are there to serve Jesus and learn from him. They're not there to tell Jesus what to do. They're not there to try and manipulate Jesus or guide Jesus. They want to learn from him. And too often we come to Jesus in a different way. We come to him with our own agendas. Answer my questions and maybe I'll serve you. Solve my problems and maybe I'll trust you. Let me tell you what I want to see happen, and maybe I'll follow you if your thinking is in line with mine. Rather than trying to make sense of his truth through the broken lens of our world, we must make sense of our broken world through the lens of his truth. The second question they answer as they talk to him is, are they there to know about Jesus or to abide in Jesus? Where are you staying? That's the first thing they ask him. You're a rabbi? Where are you staying? And, that literally means, where it says, where are you staying? It means, where do you abide? And, the word abide is another important word to John. He talks about abiding in Jesus, abiding in the true vine. It says it was the 10th hour. So that means it was late in the day. And when Jesus says, come and see, what he's doing is he's inviting them to a meal. And by inviting them to a meal, he's inviting them into intimacy. You know, some people attend church all their lives, listening to Christ's teaching and seeing what they like or they don't like, kind of seeing if they want to be there or don't want to be there. But it's only when we come to Jesus and we cry out, Rabbi, I want to abide in you, that we are actually invited to his table and we have intimacy with him. And the final thing is, were they looking for affirmation or transformation? You know, Andrew goes to his brother Simon after this, and Jesus immediately takes Simon and changes his name. Changes it to Cephas in Aramaic, or Peter in Greek. Both mean rock. But we know Peter, don't we? We've read the Gospels. Doesn't seem like much of a rock, does he? He's kind of an emotional guy, rash and impulsive. So what Jesus is telling him is that, yeah, you're not going to be who you were anymore, not in name, not in character. I'm going to turn you into the rock upon which I'm going to build my church. This new name meant new transformation. They were not saying, here I am, Lord, affirm me for who and what I am now. I'm so great, just take me the way I am and I'll be a blessing to your kingdom. They were saying, here I am, Lord. Transform me into what I can be by your grace and for your glory. So as you go to prayer today, I'd like you to listen and hear the voice of Jesus asking you that question. What do you want? What do you want from Jesus? What are you looking for from Jesus? Are you looking for him to just affirm who you are and say, yeah, you're fine just the way you are? Are you looking for Jesus to do things the way you want him to do? Are you looking for him to just show you things that you already know? Or are you ready to serve him, to abide in him, and to be transformed by him? Think about those questions, and let's start our Lenten season on our knees, preparing our hearts to let him shape us into who he would have us be. God bless you all. Have a great day.